Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is what if Gohan was sent to DXD. Before we start, remember to like and subscribe to help the channel. Also check the description for the creator of the fanfic. Chapter 9. If there was a time for an alien invasion or an ancient evil awake from its deep slumber or something wreaking havoc within the world, now would have been time. The Demi-Saiyan was being led by hand in his classroom by one of his many admirers, much to Gohan's disarray. He wants to tell Akeno that she can let him go, but the sweet girl smile keeps stopping at the Demi-Saiyan tracks. Just seeing the raven-haired girl smile was a force that could stop such a force as himself in his tracks. He still is debating himself if that was good or bad. Right now, all he could do is to let Akeno drag him to his first period. What am I going to do? The Raven boy pounder as he was dragged to one of the school corridors, by the violent eye girl. I can't reveal more of my past than I already have. I need to talk to Azazel about this. They finally arrived to their classroom while Akeno still grasping the Demi-Saiyan hand. I'm sorry we were late, sensei. Akeno bowed to the teacher, which Gohan follows through. Their teacher and fellow students came to a complete halt. The sight of their vision was glued of the two Raven teenagers, who were holding each other hand like a newly found couple. This can't be happening, shouted one of the male students as he jumped up from his seat, pointing at the two tardy teenagers, Akon and that bastard Gohan are holding hands. He declared for the entire academy to hear. Suddenly both Gohan and Akeno were surrounded a swarm of their classmates. Why? One of the female students cried out. Damn you son Gohan. One of the boys cursed the Demi-Saiyan name, as his eyes began to moist. I was about to ask Gohan out. Another girl cried out as one of her friends consoled her. What does Akeno see in that jerk? Growled another student as he clenched his fist, wanting to punch the Demi-Saiyan at his stupid face. Gohan was bewildered by his classmate's outburst. He was about to ask Akeno what was going on only to notice there was a small shade of red at the raven-haired girl cheeks. He stares down to his hand, still grasped by Akeno, and Gohan finally understands the outburst. Gohan's face turns a deep shade of red, embarrassed of the commotion as his classmates keep bombarding him with questions and kept cursing his name. Things were getting out of hand. The young Demi-Saiyan tried to defuse the situation, but it was futile. His classmates' outburst keeps getting louder and louder, that it reaches to a point that the whole academy can hear them. Gohan began to lose his patience, his teeth started grind, as a vein began to pop up at his forehead. Would everyone shut up? Gohan screams atop of his lungs, bringing everyone to a silence by the Demi-Saiyan outburst as they just gaped at the black-haired boy. For this was the first time the young Demi-Saiyan make an outburst before. He was either polite or shy to speak out. Congratulations Mr. Sun, you the first student in Kuo that managed to make this much commotion. The teacher broke the silence as he stares daggers to the raven-haired teenager, Detention. Gohan sat alone in his desk, his classmates right now having lunch. For punishment for causing a ruckus, Gohan was to stay here until the end of free period. Thankfully Gohan was able to grab a small lunch for himself. His once large appetite was gone as he begun to contemplate his attitude since arriving this strange world. What's wrong with me? Gohan thought to himself as he stares the window looking down at the courtyard below. I've never shouted before. He never loses his temper like that before. There were times the young Demi-Saiyan lost control before, but that when he fought demons, alien invaders, and cyborgs. Ever since he arrived in this world, he started to become more agitated than usual ever since he arrived this strange dimension, being surrounded with beautiful girls, especially one with violet eyes. Gohan. The young man turns around as he saw Akeno, whom once cheery attitude was gone, now replaced with anxiety as she approaches the Demi-Saiyan. I'm sorry of what happened. Don't worry Akeno, it wasn't your fault, he assures her with a reassuring smile. Gohan had a lot of problems he needs to deal with, but right now he didn't want to see Akeno in such a crestfallen state. It was mine, for causing such a ruckus, ha ha ha. Gohan gave a nervous chuckle trying to lighten up the mood. This seemed to work as the girl in front of him gave a small giggle, seeing the Demi-Saiyan goofy smile. If you say so, she said with a delightful smile as she takes a seat next to him. Since I caused this mess, it's only fair, I stay with you. As punishment, she finishes with a wink, causing young Demi-Saiyan cheeks to turn red. Ha ha ha. Gohan just gave a nervous chuckle as he was unable to repress his embarrassment. If you insist. Akeno gave a small chuckle seeing the young Demi-Saiyan at this state. Time passed by as both Gohan and Akeno start a conversation with each other, discussing what their favorite novels and hobbies. It was difficult for the young Demi-Saiyan to let out any information from his world. When Akeno stated she never heard the novels Gohan read, he shrugs, telling her they were ancient and most likely no one ever heard of them. Which were true. The novels Gohan read were at least 300 years old, thanks to his mother's obsession of getting Gohan a formal education. The two teenagers were so engrossed with their conversation that they didn't even hear the school bell ring. "Take a seat," said the teacher as he approaches to his classroom. Follow through with his students, whom hastily get to their seats, not wanting push their teacher patience than it already is thanks to their outburst of Gohan arrival. Neither Gohan or Akeno take notice of their surroundings as the two were so engrossed with their conversation that the two didn't even notice the several of students bumping into each other, trying to reach their seats. Until one of them approached them. Excuse me, Akeno," came a stuttering girl, calling the attention of the two. "Huh?" The violet-eyed girl began with a confused look. "What is it?" The girl was more nervous than before and began to stutter when confronting the two teenagers. It didn't help that her classmates take notice and their attention was glued to the scene, much to the girl's dismay. "And nothing. It's nothing important," she said with a nervous pitch before walking towards another desk, belonging to Akeno. "Huh?" was Akeno's response as she watches the female student took her seat. "I think she was trying to tell you that's her seat," the Demi-Saiyan whispered to her ear. The violet-eyed girl blushed slightly as she felt the dark-haired boy's warm breath on her ear and neck, but after processing what Gohan said, her cheeks got even redder, turning crimson in embarrassment. "Excuse me," Akeno murmured as she approaches to the shy girl that took her seat, about to apologize to the female student. The female student just gave him a sympathetic smile, reassuring Akeno. She just sighed in relief for this before taking back her attention to her teacher, who started writing equations on the board. Gohan just giggled at Akeno's expense, seeing how cute she is when she blushes. He made a mental note to make Akeno blush more often in the future. Location unknown. High up in a building was three fallen angels with their black feather wings in sight. One of the three was a tall, buxom adult woman, whom to be in her mid-30s, with breasts so big that it made Rainier, Rias, and even Akeno flat-chested by comparison. She had long legs that make even the most uptight angel gawked, thighs so thick that it could snap a human neck. This fallen angel is known as Calawarner. Her long navy hair reaches to her ankle with a curl at the end, and bangs barely covering the right corner of her yellow eyes. She had fair skin with no sight of blemish without the use of makeup. Her outfit consisted of a violet, raincoat-like top with a wide collar, a matching miniskirt and blue high-heeled shoes. The top gabardine was a wide-open view of her voluminous cleavage. Around the cleavage was a golden necklace. "What's taking her so long?" Calawarner growled quietly to herself as the two fallen angels heard her in the distance. "Oh, come on, Calawarner. Maybe she was very busy with something," came a childlike fallen angel, known as Middlet. Middlet was a little girl whom seemed to be in her preteens. She has blonde pigtails and light blue eyes. She was wearing a gothic lowly maid outfit, which consists of a black dress with white details, a large black bow tied at the front of her waist. Along with a bow tied to her neck embedded a green jewel and another that shape as a bun that tied her pigtails, finally white socks that reached to her thighs and black dress shoes. "Shut it, brat," Calawarner growled to the childlike fallen. "You want to fight, do ya?" Middle challenged as she gave a sinister smile, believing she can take the adult fallen angel with overgrown breasts. "Enough. Both of you," came a male fallen angel that appears to be in his late 30s, but being a fallen angel who knows how old he is. This man was known as Demi-Saiyan. His attire consisted of a pale gray trench coat over a white dress shirt with a matching ascot, black pants and shoes, a pair of black gloves, and a black fedora. "You two are acting like children." Calawarner just sigh in annoyance as she folds her arms at her enormous breast. "Come on, Demi-Saiyan. I am a kid," Middlet grumbled, but still keeping her cheery attitude. It was true, Middlet was just a child, being an endangered species, the fallen angel every soldier they could get, especially the children. Demi-Saiyan just ignore her, as he stares down the entrance of the abandoned church, waiting for Rainier to arrive. The blonde-haired girl just pouted about retort to the old man, but was interrupted when a certain fallen make her appearance at the gaping roof above. "It's about time you arrived," Calawarner chastised to the fallen angel, wearing a dominatrix bikini revealing her voluptuous features. "I had things to do." Rainier gave a simple answer as she softly touches her ribs. "My wounds haven't completely healed yet," she thought, feeling a sharp bit of pain when touching them. "Why did you send us?" Demi-Saiyan asked, wanting to get to the point of the whole meeting. Rainier just gave a reluctant sigh, about to inform them her failed mission. I lure the boy, Issei, to a remote location to assassinate him, but he escaped. Calawarner cut off, seeing where Rainier was leading the conversation. The dark-haired woman just shook her head at her assertion, doubtful to continue or not. So, Middle linger in confusion, not sure what's going on. The boy survived my attack, he had some assistance. Rainier confessed as she squeezed her hand in a fist, remembering a certain black-hair boy, apparently he healed him somehow. When he put his hands on him. She finishes in her thoughts. Rainier made a small visit to Kuo Academy. Upon her visit, she saw a perfect condition Issei. She also spotted the Demi-Saiyan, and it goes without saying that she didn't like what she sees. Rainier saw the spiky hair boy chanting with two gorgeous girls, and they were often clingy to said teenager. In fact, she was more upset with the raven-haired teenager than her failed attempt of killing Issei Hyodo, for defeating her, humiliating her, along with the fact he was too clingy to that Akeno girl, and what am I thinking? Rainier scolded as her cheeks began turning red. That idiot, I swear I'm going to kill him. She growled to herself as she squeezed her fist to an unbearable fury directed at Son Gohan. The three fallen angels just stood there bewildered of the cause of Rainier tantrum, all except for one. I'm assuming you angry at the one who saved Hyodo. Demi-Saiyan stated, seeing the only reason of Rainier tantrum, but wonder why she was blushing. Shut it, you idiot, she growled to Demi-Saiyan, misplacing her anger to him rather to the prime source. Both Demi-Saiyan and Calawarner only frown in disapproval of their leader attitude. It was obvious that Rainier was angry at the one that saved Issei Hyodo, but still it was no reason to direct her anger at them. The two fallen began to wonder if there was another reason of Rainier tantrum, rather than her broken pride. Ha ha ha, Middle just giggled, breaking the tension of the atmosphere, someone jealous. She joked as Rainier cheeks were turning red. Rainier girl cleared her throat as she shifts her gaze away from the fallen angels, hiding the small paint of red still present at her cheeks. Enough. Demi-Saiyan shouted, annoyed of this tedious banter, wanting to return the main topic at hand. If the boy remains a problem, what should we deal with him? Rainier only frowned at her thoughts. She wanted to be the one to kill the spiky-haired teenager for humiliating her, but she knows he won't be defeated so easily. This guy, strong. Very strong. She told them, remembering the tremendous blow the Demi-Saiyan gave her. If Hyodo continues to stick by him, then there's nothing we can do to him. Then what do you suggest? Calawarner asked with a raised eyebrow. Rainier looked back at them. She knew they couldn't finish Hyodo off if Gohan is with him. We'll have to wait for Hyodo to be alone, she said with an intense glare. As for Gohan, I'll see what I do. She finished with a sadistic smile. With Gohan and Akeno, an hour has passed from last period. Gohan was being led to the Occult Club by a clingy Akeno, whom relent of letting go the Demi-Saiyan arm, much to Gohan's embarrassment of the unwanted attention from his classmates. Akeno, why are you holding my arm? Gohan hesitantly asks while trying to repress the heat that is coming from his cheek, as the raven-hair girl was burying his right arm to her large breast. Akeno answered the Demi-Saiyan with a seductive smile which round down shivers to Gohan's spine. Because it feels so good, Akeno allured to the Demi-Saiyan as she shoves his arm further to her chest, making Gohan blush even furiously than before. Finally, the two teenagers arrived at the Occult Clubhouse as Akeno let go his arm much to his relief. Rias was sitting behind her desk waiting patiently for the two teenagers. To the Demi-Saiyan surprise, there were two Kuo students sitting on a different set of couches at the opposite end of the room, from the right and left corner of the room. There was a handsome boy with blonde hair, whom to be at his mid-year at Kuo. The one to the left was a petite girl with white hair. In Gohan's opinion, she appears to be 12 years old rather than a high school student. We were waiting for you. Rias frowned at disapproval as the two finally arrived. What took you two so long? She asks with irritation in her tone. Ha ha ha, Akeno just giggled at Rias' irritation. We were just enjoying our stroll. Rias just frowned in disapproval, but decided to let it aside and focus on the matters in hand. But still wonder why she was so bothered of Akeno spending so much time together with the Demi-Saiyan. Well, Rias began, pushing back her thoughts. First of all, I would like to introduce you to my servants, Kaneko Tuju and Kiba Yuto. She finishes pointing to the two occupants. Kaneko just nodded at Gohan, whom resumed back eating her treat. Gohan could only return the greeting with his own inclination with a drop of sweat running down his face. He was a bit surprised that a girl whom seemed to be at her pre-teens have such a stoic attitude. Nice to meet you, son Gohan. The blonde-hair boy extends his hand with a gentle smile, fitting for a gentleman such as himself, in which Gohan returned in kind, shaking his hand. The pleasure is mine. Now that we have introduced ourselves, Gohan, would you please take the word of Rias Grimori as she signals the Demi-Saiyan to take a seat. She wants to know what I am, but I can't tell her about Azazel or that I'm a Saiyan. Not yet. Gohan, what is Ki? Rias indicated to the Demi-Saiyan. She did her research about Ki or Kai, but there wasn't much to say. Ki is an energy that flows at every living being. Kaneko stopped eating her treat as she was now engrossed to the Demi-Saiyan, when hearing the word Ki. Well, Gohan began as he puts his finger on his cheek, thinking, a way to simplify the conversation. As I said before, Ki is an energy that flows in every living thing as well as plants, earth, water, etc. He said with a small pause, this energy can be exploited if you train properly, to have a better control of it. He paused for a second waiting for the question to pop up. And what this Ki can do, Gohan? Kiba asks, taking an interest about this Ki. Akeno and Rias couldn't agree more with Kiba's question. They have already seen the sphere of the energy yesterday, but they were almost certain that there was more to it than meets the eye. Kaneko, however, just remained silent, listening to every word to the Demi-Saiyan. Well, you see, Gohan began while ponder on a way to simplify the topic. With the Ki you can create destructive energy spheres, increase your strength, speed and durability. And you can also fly. He added, remembering that little detail. Fly. Rias bewildered of that detail. She wasn't the only one, as the three students were confused about how Ki can help you fly. This Ki can give you some kind of wings? The redhead asked again in shock of such a possibility. This raises further questions for the Demi-Saiyan. He supposed that in this dimension, it was impossible for them to fly without the use of wings. Not exactly. Ki allows me to fly without any use of wings. He stated, much to everyone's shock, seeing the stunned looks of his classmates. I think it would be best to show you. He added before getting up from his seat. Akeno was about to question what was Gohan going on, but kept quiet as she felt a small breeze. Which was odd since all the windows and the door was locked. But what happened next dismissed the sudden breeze as everyone in the room gaped at the sight they were seeing. Even the stoic Kaneko was glued at the sight. Gohan was hovering 12 inches apart from the ground. This is how I fly, by using the Ki. Gohan told them as he landed to ground, the breeze disappearing with it. Any other question? He asks the group as they were still dumbstruck of Gohan remained silent of his little demonstration. Akeno was the first to recover as she gave her usual seductive smile to the Demi-Saiyan, which just run down shiver to his spine. What strange powers you have, Gohan. I wonder what else you can do. She whispers with a seductive tone, quite enough for only the Demi-Saiyan to hear, but not quite enough as Rias heard that last bit. I must say, Gohan, I wasn't expecting this, Rias stated, astonished of this new ability, but still annoyed by Akeno's behavior. You said that the Ki enhanced strength and endurance, right? That's the basics. He explains, taking them by surprise, wondering what else can this Ki can do. When you master Ki control, you be able to perform different techniques. Gohan didn't want to go into details of the different Ki techniques could provide, since they were so many to name out of the bat. Gohan was about to continue on the topic, but stopped himself, as he felt Issei Ki started to spike. Confused by this sudden development, he extends his senses only to find out that he wasn't alone. Damn it, Issei! Gohan shouted, in the blink of an eye as he shot past the window behind Rias, soaring towards the chestnut tree. Gohan! Rias yelled, confused of the Demi-Saiyan outburst, but before she could question, he was already gone, leaving only shards of glass from Rias' window. Issei must be in danger, Kiba guesses, seeing no other reason why Gohan panicked in such a manner. Kankeo nod in agreement to the blonde. We have to hurry. With Issei, today has been just another average day for Issei. He went to Motohama House watching a magical girl movie, staring three over-sexualized teenagers. With all said and done, it was starting getting dark and it was high time for Issei to come back home, but going against his better judgment, he returns to the scene of the crime of his murder. Has anyone ever told you that it's dangerous to be alone at night? Being startled, Issei whiplash to see none other than Demi-Saiyan. Who are you? Brunette trembled in terror. He doesn't who this guy is, but his instincts were telling him that being all alone in the night with a stranger is never a good thing. I'm so dead, he panics in his thoughts as the man gave a sinister smile. My name is Demi-Saiyan, prepare to die. the man stated as he took a step toward him. Issei recoiled back, taking a great leap towards the other side of the fountain that was behind him, much to Issei's shock. What? He thought in shock of his surprise landing on the other side of the fountain. I did that. He wondered in his thoughts. Issei just shook his head, remembering his talk with Rias, that he was no longer human. Are you trying to escape? Demi-Saiyan raised an eyebrow that was hidden by his fedora hat. Issei didn't answer, instead he ran as fast he can away from the fallen angel. Demi-Saiyan just watched as the teenager was running away from him. He summons black feather wings from his back, tailing the chestnut. Run, run, run. Damn it, Issei shouted to himself, not looking back from the fallen angel, but it was all in vain as he notices black feathers hovering above him. Out of habit, Issei looks up above just to see Demi-Saiyan hovering above him only a few meters apart. Enough of these games, time to die. Demi-Saiyan shouted as he throws his blue light spear towards Issei. He's going to kill me. Issei panics as he saw the spear was making way towards him. Just as the spear was 10 centimeters towards Issei, the teenager disappeared. What? Came a confused Demi-Saiyan, wondering where the boy went. I arrived just in time. Gohan heard up above him. He turns just to see a black-haired boy with spiky hair, wearing a Kuo uniform hovering above him, without the use of wings. He also takes notice that he was holding his target in a bridal manner. Gohan just frowned at the scene in front of him. He was of course surprised that the boy was able to fly without the use of the wings. But ever the solider, he was still on guard, wondering that was the boy Rainier warned about. Gohan descend towards the ground, gently placing Issei down. Gohan, Issei shouted as he snaps out of his near-death experience, what are you doing here? He questioned, still a little shaken by his sudden appearance. I sense you were in danger. Gohan answer, taking a breath of relief that this time he saved the perverted boy. Still confused, Issei just nodded to the Demi-Saiyan, grateful that he saved his life. Well, that was unexpected. Demi-Saiyan commented, getting the two attention. Gohan narrowed his gaze towards him as he stood in front of Issei, separating from him and the fallen angel before him. It was Gohan's ego that got in his way of stopping Boo. It was his naivety that failed to save Issei once. He will not fail again. I don't know who you are and I do not care, but you tried to kill my friend and I won't forgive that. Gohan declares as he glares at the man who just remained impassive. Before Demi-Saiyan could say another word, a red magic circle appeared out of nowhere, blinding them with its red light. Revealing Rias, Akeno, Kaneko and Kiba. Gohan. Akeno called out him, but pay no attention towards her, as he keeps his focus of the fallen angel with the trench coat. Issei, what's going on? Rias asked the boy, after getting off his stupor. I don't know, he stutters after still dealing with his brink of death, as he approaches towards the group. Rias just takes a breath of relief, as she turns her attention to the Demi-Saiyan. You may have superior, but Demi-Saiyan was cut off as a fist made contact with his face. The force was so fierce that the fallen angel crash landed towards several trees at the park. I told you I wouldn't forgive you. With a venomous tone, Gohan lowered his fist. Everyone just gawked at the feat in front of them, even Kaneko, who happened to be the strongest of Rias' peerage when come to physical strength. They didn't even see the teenager takes a first step, he just disappears and reappear, like some kind of teleportation. So they believe. Holy crap, Issei muttered as a bead of sweat run down his forehead. I didn't even see him take his first step. Came a ton Kiba, wondering how anyone can move in such speed, not even an ultimate devil can move that fast. He sent him flying with just one blow. Ran Kaneko thoughts, dumbfounded of such a feat. Gohan, was all Akeno could say. Like everyone else, she was dazed of such a feat and the sudden shift of tone coming from the black-haired teenager. He acts like a different person compared to his shy self, but now he was sterner and was ready to dismember the fallen angel. Speaking of the fallen angel, Demi-Saiyan was slowly emerging from the rumble, limping by each step. His clothes were torn to shreds, leaving only loose fabric and missing his hat from the impact. The small cuts of blood reaching towards his torso, as a speck of blood trenched down to his mouth. You've taken me by surprise, that's all. Demi-Saiyan muttered in a low tone, pausing in each sentence, grasping his breath. The Demi-Saiyan didn't say anything, just frowned at the fallen angel. Keeping a keen eye towards on him, waiting for any tricks he might pull. Demi-Saiyan didn't want to admit, but that kid punch hurt like hell, but no, he was aware of how fast and strong the teenager is. Unfolding his wings, he shot out towards the sky before raising his arms in the air and creating a spear of light in each hand, throwing them towards the Demi-Saiyan, who just remained impassive of the act. Gohan move. Rias and Akeno shouted as Demi-Saiyan throw his spear of light towards him. The spear made contact to the Demi-Saiyan, causing a huge explosion in the process. The debris risen as the smoke covered the Occult Club vision. Both Rias and Akeno hold their breath, hoping that the Demi-Saiyan got out of time, but the heart sank when the smoke dissipated, with leaving only a small crater with no trace of Gohan. Rias and Akeno couldn't believe it. Gohan had died. That wasn't possible. He was very strong. There was no way that a simple fallen angel could have killed him. But unfortunately, there was no trace of him, and their fear came at the worst. Gohan. Akeno murmured as tears streamed down her face. Gohan dead, and they did nothing but watch. Rias covered her mouth while tears started pour out. If she had only intervened, none of this would have happened. Gohan. Issei murmured as he pounds his fist into the concrete ground. His friend died trying to protect him, and all because he didn't have the courage and strength to defend himself. The boy had guts, but, in the end, he was all talk. Demi-Saiyan stated with a satisfied smile. Issei clenches his fist, his anger towards the fallen angel above. He doesn't know how, but he will make that fallen angel pay. He was about to retort, but his eyes widen as he notices that there was someone behind the fallen angel, as a relief smile settles on his face as the others follow through. Why are they smiling? Demi-Saiyan wonder in his thoughts, a bit disturbed of their sudden shift of mood of their dead friend. Look behind you, came a familiar voice that run down shivers Demi-Saiyan's spine. Slowly Demi-Saiyan turned around only to confirm his fear. There he was, Gohan without a scratch on him. Gohan stares daggers to Demi-Saiyan's core. Unforgiving and ready for the kill. If he wasn't a fallen angel, he would have crapped his pants. Before he could make a comment, he felt the air escape from his lungs by a tremendous force towards his stomach. The last thing he saw before falling unconscious was the face of his attacker, as he stares down at him with eyes full of fury, ready for the kill. Rias, Akeno, Kaneko, Kiba and Issei saw Demi-Saiyan crash landed on the other side of the park, creating a crater in the process. Follow through. Gohan gently landed right next to the group in perfect condition. Gohan stares down at the unconscious fallen angel, still breathing. Something in the back of Gohan's mind keeps telling him to kill the fallen angel. But he was not that kind man. What's happening to me? Gohan pondered to himself in frustration as he tightens his skull. He just wanted to protect his friend, but something inside him wanted to show this man real terror, giving him a slow painful death. His inner monologue was interrupted as he felt something soft and wet behind him. Akeno, Rias, came the shocked Demi-Saiyan as he saw the stream of tears of the two teenage girls. What's wrong? His tone was out of concern, of the two teenagers, wondering if he did something wrong to upset the two. Idiot, came a relief Rias, follow through with a relief Akeno, who only just smile at the Demi-Saiyan safety. Is he? Issei lingers as he stares down at the fallen angel body, almost afraid to ask. Dead. Gohan finish his sentence. No, just unconscious. He answers as Issei just let out a breath of relief. He couldn't imagine Gohan killing someone, it was just so uncharacteristic of him. What will you do with him? Kiba asked as he approached the four with Kaneko in tail. Let him go. I don't kill. Gohan stated as he takes a glimpse of the unconscious fallen angel, only when it's necessary. He ended with a murmur as he recalled his battle against Cell. It would be best that we go home and get some rest. Rias suggests as the group nodded in agreement. They all went their separate ways, except for Gohan and Issei, whom the Demi-Saiyan suggests to escort him home. As the group left the park, Black Feather began to descend from the sky as none other than Rainier appeared as she stares down her fallen comrade. I didn't expect him to be that strong. She muttered to herself as she picks up Demi-Saiyan towards her shoulder. She watched the whole fight from a close distance, believing Demi-Saiyan was able to handle the situation. Clearly that was not the case. Seeing Gohan's display of power was incredible. Who knew that the boy was capable of this level of destruction, but that's not what's been bothering her. When Rainier presumed that the teenager was dead, she felt nauseous. She doesn't know why, but it annoyed and confused her. But when the reveal of the Demi-Saiyan was alive, that discomfort was misplaced with joy. She was happy. That was something she didn't understand. Why was she happy to see him alive? Because she wants to kill him with her own hands, right? Rainier just shook her head. It doesn't matter. She cleared her thoughts as her cheeks felt hot at the touch. I have to get him out of here. was her last thought as she flew away from the park. With Gohan let out of a heavy breath as he turns on the light of his apartment. He couldn't believe the hectic day he had, and his willingness to kill the fallen angel pushed him to the edge. The times he acted like this was during his battles with Cell, Bojack and recently Boo. Gohan knew that there was strong intent to kill in his mindset, to demolish the enemy with no hint of mercy, but that's only when he transforms to Super Saiyan state or his mystic form. It began to concern him, worrying what's pushing him to have these malice thoughts. I have to relax, he muttered to himself as he shook those thoughts out of his head for the moment. He took off his cloth as he made way through his bathroom, entering the bathtub. After finishing his bath, he decided to go to the kitchen and have a small snack before going to bed. 30 minutes after eating his snack, he plummeted to his bed. Just before Gohan could close his eyelids, he felt a soft hand touch his chest. Being startled, Gohan turned around only to see a bare Akeno sleeping under his sheets. What the hell? He shrieked as his cheeks turned deep red. He did not know what to do. He could wake her up and ask her why she was in her bed, undressed, but seeing her sleeping peacefully, stop him at his tracks. He let out a breath of reluctance, laying down the opposite direction to Akeno. The Demi-Saiyan closed his eye, yet again embracing sweet-filled slumber. Until he felt two small, delicate arms surrounding his chest, as well as two fleshy lumps being pressed against his back. I was worried about you, she murmured into his ear, grasping the Demi-Saiyan attention. She was worrying about him, but why? Gohan turned around only to see tears streaming down her violet eyes. Carefully, Gohan wiped away Akeno tears with his thumb as he cupped her cheeks, not straying away from her violent eyes. He doesn't know what to do, but he couldn't bear to see Akeno in such a state. I thought that you died, she muttered between shaken breaths. Died? Came to the bewildered Demi-Saiyan, whom Akeno could only nod. Akeno, I know I'm not immortal and might not be the most powerful being in this universe, but I will never let leave your side. He continues with determination in his tone as he never stray his gaze from the violet-eyed girl. I promise, he assured her with a soft tone. Akeno couldn't form any words as her amethyst eyes began to shine by every second. Gohan was drawn to Akeno's gaze as neither of them were willing looked away from each other. Gohan was about to open his mouth, until Akeno planted a deep kiss to the teenager lips. Much to Gohan's shock, but let Akeno take lead, enjoying each sensation of this moment. Finally, Akeno released Gohan from her grasp. Both were dazed, blushing like a tomato as they catch their breath. Be the first one to recover, Akeno just smiled at Gohan as she buried her face to his well-toned bare chest, with a smile settle on her beautiful face. What just happened? Came the flustered Gohan. He didn't know what to think. He never been kissed before. The only time someone kissed him was his mother and Krillin ex-girlfriend Marin, but those were only on the cheek or his forehead. This was his first real kiss. Recovering from his shock, but still blushing, Gohan looked down at violet-eyed girl who was snuggling at his chest. Slowly he closed his eyelids as he fell to slumber, unaware that he wrapped his arms around Akeno's upper body, enjoying the embrace. Thanks for listening. If you want the next part of this video, be sure to like, subscribe and comment and hit that bell notification. See you next time.